Hello and welcome to the demonstration of color calibration process with MRTech IFF SDK. Here we have an SDK package and a directory with license file. For simplicity, we are going to assume that all dependencies are already installed, but I am going to demonstrate how to execute PowerShell scripts that can be used to install them. So we browse to the Windows subdirectory of sample application. Here we have two scripts. You open context menu with right button mouse click, and you should have a menu entry named Run with PowerShell. So you select it and just wait for the process to finish. To build the application, we're going to need the PowerShell application from Windows. First, we're going to enter the development shell. For that, we are going to copy the commands as they are written in the article. Then we are going to browse into the SDK package and sample applications subdirectory. We're going to create build directory in it. Switch to it. Then we're going to configure the project with CMake and build the application with CMake. Next step is to adjust the configuration files. So we're going to browse to build bin subdirectory. First configuration file is called caloric.son. Basically all the default settings are okay, but we are going to set the exact camera name for it to be included in the color profile metadata. So I have prepared the exact settings. So we are changing the value of unique camera name setting. I'm going to save that file and close it. Second configuration file is called spectroprofiler.son. There we have to adjust the settings for the camera. So since we are using CMake camera in this video, we just have to set a serial number and the path to the license file. So this is done. We are saving this configuration file. And we need to copy the actual license file from the directory where it's located to the build bin subdirectory. So this is done. Now we can launch the SpectroProfiler application. Here you can see that overexposed and underexposed areas are blinking. So we can adjust the exposure with keys 1 to decrease the exposure and keys 2 to increase the exposure. Actually, the exposure is okay right now, but I'm going to demonstrate it anyway. So here I'm decreasing the exposure, and you can see that the black patch is now blinking, meaning that the exposure is not correct. And I'm going to increase the exposure. Now the white patch and some others are blinking, meaning they're overexposed. So correct exposure is somewhere in between, where the actual squares, color squares, are not blinking. Something like that. After we set the exposure, we can start the calibration process by pressing the Tab key. So we're waiting for the new window to appear. Now we can crop the color chart. So I'm drawing the border and then I double click. Then I'm going to place the color chart squares on the captured image. We have to adjust the corners so that all the drawn squares are completely inside the squares on the captured image. Then I double click again. Wait for the done message, double click again to close this window. In the terminal output you can see that color profile is written and the relative path to the color profile file relative to the build bin subdirectory. To access the spectral profiler, I can press escape key, and here we have the generated color profile. To apply it, we are going to use image broker application. So first we're going to copy the generated file. Then we're going to use the PowerShell to build the image broker application using the exact same commands that we used to build the spectral profiler. So we switch to 02 export subdirectory from samples directory of IFF SDK package. I'm going to create build subdirectory, switch to it, configure the project with CMake, then build the application with CMake. Now we are going to browse with the Explorer to this directory. So this is build bin subdirectory. We're going to copy the color profile, and we will also need the license file again. So I'm going to copy it here. And now we have to adjust also the image broker.son configuration file as we did with spectral profiler.son to set the serial number of the camera. So we are going to copy that. By default, we are going using a dummy color profile which does no color correction. So first let's launch the image broker application with it to see the difference. So here is the uncalibrated view. You can notice, especially with the red color, that it's very dull compared to the real thing. So we're going to exit the image broker with escape key like with spectral profiler and adjust the configuration file one more time. So I'm going to set the path to the color profile. So we save the configuration file and launch an image broker application again. Now the colors are correct, especially you can see the red is red. So thanks for watching, and this is how the color calibration workflow works with MRTech IFF SDK.